I have just been informed that we are once again ready. So, as before, this is Evoland. Any percent with Jerem. Jerem, please. Let's go.
Hi, so him, and will run Evoland.
Hello, I'm Illegally Sam, and I will be commentating now that we're all good to go.
Yeah, so I will start the run. So for the timer, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck. All right,
Thanks.
This is Evoland. For anybody who's never seen this game before, it's an interesting little hybrid of a bunch of game inspirations, and the main gimmick is what you're seeing exactly on screen right now. As Jerem goes around picking up all these chests, we're unlocking new game mechanics, new graphics, new sounds, and basically the game is evolving as we go, hence the name Evoland.
Okay, so we got some music. Nice.
A fun fact, if you skip that music chest, the game doesn't like that.
Yeah.
It will crash later.
Take it, yeah. Okay, nice. The beginning of the game is really hard because we don't have a health point. So it can be hard. Okay.
Yeah, especially because all of these enemies are just completely random with where they move.
Yeah.
Sometimes the bats can just say screw you and fly directly into your path. And if that happens at a bad time, you just gotta take it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm happy with the start. I'm not dead yet.
Yeah,
nice.
This game is a fun run. There's not like too much super difficult going on during the run, but it is a massive RNG fest the whole way through when you want to get a good time. But that's part of the fun of it. Because as you can see, the beginning of the game kind of started out in like a 2D Zelda kind of fashion, and now we're in the Final Fantasy section.
Yeah, and here we need to kill 4 enemies, and it's completely random. We can get up to 3 enemies per fight. Okay, so that will make 3 of them.
Ideal RNG would be we only find slimes.
Yeah.
We only need to do 2 fights to kill 4 enemies, and both of the fights have 2 slimes in them.
Yeah.
But kind of just got to take whatever you're given, unfortunately.
Oh, close.
Yeah. Also with the ideal RNG, if you get the max damage roll on one of the slimes and it does 12 damage, you'll one-shot the slime, but any other damage roll number requires 2 hits.
Yeah, okay. Again at 11, but that's fine. Okay.
You at least only had to fight 4 enemies. It is very possible that you have to fight more if RNG doesn't like you.
Yeah. That's not that bad.
That could have been worse.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, and once we just take out these guys, they take 3 hits each, and they have the shield on the front, so they're a little tricky to hit. Yeah, now we're in the village. You know, this Abunika village, as it's called. It's a little interesting because nobody in the village wants to talk to you if you're not an adult, so you kind of have to just fall down a well, eat something that you found there, and now you're an adult.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right?
Why not?
Yeah, but the funny thing is, all of the villagers are hidden behind these upgrade chests, and we don't need to actually talk to any of them except for the one in the shop, so yeah, you're not going to actually see any of them. Yeah, the reason we needed all of the money from those enemies is so we can buy some equipment here, because you will not be allowed to progress the game further if you don't buy a sword and some armor, which is why we need that money from those enemies. If you didn't buy them, there would be a barrel blocking your way across this bridge here. Or if you had unlocked the villagers, there'd be a villager blocking your way. But no matter what, you still can't make it across without that equipment.
And here we will meet Kairis.
She's a completely original character, not based on anything else.
Yeah, like our character is a Clink, so again,
original character, do not steal.
Of course not. Okay.
Yeah, now we have 2 members of the party. We have both Clink and Karis.
now we have unlocked experience points, so we will be able to level up before the boss, if possible.
Yeah, the way this area goes is, depending on what kind of fight RNG you get, you either want to kill the enemies or run from them, whichever's faster. Sometimes it's faster to fight them, and the RNG just says no regardless.
No, what? Okay.
This happens sometimes. The worst I've seen is, I think I have a clip on my channel of me fighting a single one of those snakes, and I missed like 7 times in a row.
Yeah.
It just happens sometimes. But now's when the fun starts.
Okay, I'll let you explain if you want, because
yeah. So a funny thing about this game is you're able to basically pause the game before certain animations and cutscenes start, and as a result, you're not able to move while you have the game paused. You're not able to move while you have a cutscene happening. But if they both happen at the same time, the game gives you movement back. You just move with the pause menu open, and that's going to be very important after this boss fight. But for this boss fight, this is Kefka's Ghost. You just gotta wail on him until he goes down, but if you do get good damage rolls, this fight can go a lot faster, because at certain parts throughout the fight, it'll turn blue like this. If you attack him while he's blue, your attack will miss and it will counterattack, which you don't want to do, obviously. So if you get good enough damage rolls throughout the entire fight, you're able to take him out before he does a second one of those blue phases, which is a 1 cycle for this fight. But if the RNG doesn't cooperate, it'll take a 2 cycle, unfortunately. But these damage rolls these are really good damage rolls.
Good RNG, yeah.
I say that and you get 17.
yeah. Now, nice.
You're fine.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, that's why we want to try and get a level before the boss, so that we get slightly better damage rolls and increase the odds of getting a 1 cycle. Alright, now you might not be able to tell just right away, but now we're in 3D. And we're also going to use this pause menu to break out the animation of opening this chest, as we just slide around.
Perfect.
So yeah, now that we're in 3D, there was little stone slabs before that we couldn't cross over because they had depth and we were only in 2D. But now that we're in 3D, they're like 1 inch high, so we can just walk over them. And the other thing is that now that we have actual health, we don't have to worry about getting hit by enemies nearly as much.
Yeah.
And along the way here, there will be an extra chest. This chest will make it so that enemies can drop health, which isn't like explicitly required, but you're not going to have a good time if you skip that chest.
Yeah.
Because full heals in this game are very sparse. But now that we've made it out of the forest here, it's time for the first real dungeon of the run.
For the Noria mine, again.
I hope you like the pause menu. You're going to be seeing it a lot.
Yeah.
This dungeon has a lot of animations, from opening chests and pressing switches and everything else in between. And as a result, we have a lot of opportunities to pause. And we're gonna make full use of that. So yeah, throughout all of these animations, you're gonna see Jerem like pause and unpause a few times. That's because while we can move during the cutscenes, some of them don't progress until you stop moving for a second, and so we're trying to maximize the movement during them. But this one right here, this one's important because by trying to leave that room, and also by opening that chest, both of them trigger a trap in this room. And as a result, we can actually trigger the trap twice. And by triggering the trap twice, we can make this chest spawn twice. This chest has a key for the dungeon, and so by duplicating that key chest, we can just get 2 keys from this room and skip one later. It's really funny. I really like that trick.
Yeah.
And now that we also have several more enemies besides just the bats and the octorax. So now we have skeletons and we have the wizards. Both of which are very annoying, but for different reasons. Yeah, like I said, basically every single opportunity we have to store the pause menu, we're going to. And then every single opportunity we have to use that pause menu to skip animations and cutscenes to save time. Yeah, you're going to see Clink sliding around a lot. So So yeah, but while there are a few spots in this dungeon where it saves a lot of time to use those pause animation skips, a lot of the time it's literally just you save like 3 to 5 seconds or something like that. But doing that, 5-10 times throughout the dungeon, it starts to really add up. This next one is one of those very important ones, because this next room is also a room with a trap, where if you try to leave, it spawns a bunch of enemies. But what if we just, took this pause menu and just unpause during the trap? Oh, hey, we can just leave.
Oh, no. Oh.
I was gonna say that this is a thing that can happen here, and unfortunately, it looks like it happened.
Okay,
Yeah, that is
unfortunate.
one of my least favorite spots in the run, and I never play that risky anymore because I've soft locked there too many times.
Yeah, but I think I had played safe, but it seemed not.
Yeah,
okay.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
So yeah, this means that we're gonna have to redo a decent chunk of the dungeon, which is a little unfortunate, but now you get to see all the cool tricks that we did, that Jerem's done already. You just get to see them again.
Yeah.
As we go back through the dungeon, Spyran, if you have anything you want to read out, now's a good time.
Yeah, just to say that, again, we are indeed, all proceeds for this event are going towards QMUNITY. QMUNITY is a fantastic charity where they are working to offer via support programs support for all British Columbia's queer, trans, two-spirit, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersexual and asexual people to allow them to live free from harm and discrimination regardless of age, location and circumstance. So if you would like to support this great cause, this is the avenue to do so. There are some incentives and polls live on the Tiltify page, so if you want to check that out, it is !donate in the chat, probably the easiest way to get there, but you can also go to speedromizer.live/donate and find everything you need right there. I want to see that number climb to at least 1,300 before we end this run. Can we make it happen, people? Let's get to it.
I believe in people. So yeah, as we're going back through this dungeon, Jerem's just making full use of that pause menu, like I said. It is the bread and butter of trips and skips in this game.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, these skeletons are annoying because in that room up ahead that we're skipping, the enemies that spawn in that room are skeletons, and trying to kill the skeletons with the sword is a massive pain. Like, they're by far the worst enemies to fight with a sword, and so as a result, we never actually have to fight any of them in the run with the sword, which is I'm very thankful for.
Yeah. Okay, let's try to not miss it.
Alright, so we skip this room.
Okay, nice. Whew.
Yeah, so if you start that cutscene, it's possible for it to soft lock. I don't know the exact specifics over like what causes it to soft lock versus not, but I know that it's possible to just like have that cutscene start while you were still in the previous one and things are perfectly fine, nothing goes wrong, and then sometimes you're in that cutscene and it's just Karis walks into the wall and doesn't want to move, and you're sad. But if you thought the pause menu wasn't broken enough, pause menu also makes it so that if you have the game paused, you are immune to all damage and all hazards, which includes those wind traps. It includes the fireballs from these wizards, if they decide to be mean, but thankfully they weren't too mean. But yeah, basically, the pause menu just lets you do whatever you want while it's up. The one thing to note, if you're walking around with it open, you can still take damage, so you're not like permanently immune to literally everything, but if you have a projectile coming towards you, it's very easy to just pause the game, and then now you have no projectile coming towards you, because you're immune. I see you're playing things a little safe here.
Yeah, don't want to die again.
Yep, that's completely understandable.
Okay, nice.
But now we don't get to hear the alarm clock the whole time.
That's better.
Because the low health noise sounds like an alarm clock. But yeah, the damaging down there was intentional. I'm not gonna fake people out
Yeah.
and scare them.
Okay. With that, we can go back to the start of the dungeon, and we have the boss key.
Yeah, this time it's intentional.
Yeah. So we don't have to kill enemies. There are 8 enemies in the room where we were. So
Yeah, so it's a lot faster to instead of killing 8 enemies, you just kill yourself, and then you don't have to fight them.
yeah.
Yeah, because this game, it does have auto-saving, but the auto-saving only happens at very particular points, and that boss key is one of those points. No other spot in the dungeon is an auto-save point. Right. This is Dark Clink. This is a very annoying boss fight because it's pure RNG. He has 3 attacks. He can either spit fireballs at you, he can spawn bats, or he can charge. The only way to damage him is to have him charge at you and then have him slam into one of the walls. And so you just need to have him do that 6 times. The only way to have that happen is to have him give you good RNG. And depending on how the RNG is, sometimes he like hugs the wall when instead of trying to charge at you properly, and so he just goes perpendicular to the wall instead of hitting it, and it's just very sad because then you just have to sit there waiting for. And naturally, the boss ends in a cutscene, so we can get the pause menu on it. Okay, that was an interesting way of doing that.
Yeah. There is a safe way of doing it.
I mean, you got the pause menu still, so okay. This is one of the arguably the most important trick in the run.
Nice.
You see that chest that we just walked past? We walked through it. You're not supposed to be able to walk through it. There's like a very small sliver of ground where for some reason the chest just doesn't have collision. And so you're able to walk through it. And inside of that chest is random encounters from the 3D overworld. And so from now until the end of the run, there will be no more random encounters. And I don't think I need to explain how not having any more random encounters is good.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time.
So this cutscene's a little funky, where if you try to leave the room before Karis leaves the room, the game doesn't like that. So we kind of have to just, even though we have full movement during this cutscene, you have to wait for Karis to actually walk outside in order to actually have things work properly. But after that, the rest of the cutscene we can just ignore.
Yep.
And now that Karis has left the party, we need to go figure out how to get bombs. And so we have to track them down by talking to like way too many villagers in a row because they each say, oh, I don't have bombs. You should talk to this person. They might have bombs. So we're going to speed things up just a little bit. So this guy right here, he's the guy who lets you play the obligatory card game. But we don't have enough cards. And so as a result, he gives us this weird text box that is just completely lets you have full movement during it. And so by keeping that text box and talking to somebody else, we can chain it so that we get movement during that person's text box. And so by chaining it from person to person to person for this entire dialogue quest for getting the bombs and chaining it properly from person to person, something a little interesting is going to happen at the end that saves a good chunk of time. And this is called Bomb Skip. Bomb Skip is very good because it saves, I think, like 15-20 seconds, depending on how well you do it. And yeah, 15 seconds is a pretty substantial time save when it is literally just talk to a bunch of people correctly. It is very tricky because some of these people, the trigger box for their dialogue is not as nice as you would like it to be, so it is very easy to mess it up, but you got it perfectly. So yeah,
nice.
Now we're seeing a cutscene that's taking place in a completely different room.
Bombs, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we got bombs. So what that skips is it skips walking all the way over to this next room, and then it also skips having to talk to the last person. And so it, as a result, it just saves a whole bunch of time. But yeah, now that we have bombs, it's time to continue with the story. Because in order to fight the big bad, we need to find 2 halves of a medallion. So the first half is here in the Sacred Grove. And now that we have bombs, we can explore it fully. Also, don't forget, the pause menu is very overpowered, so we don't need to actually avoid getting hit by our own bombs. We could just stand there with the pause menu open. Yeah, this dungeon has a really cool gimmick to it, because those time crystals, every time you hit one, it switches you between the past and the future. Or, for gameplay, it switches you between 2D and 3D. And so as a result, in 3D, we can step over those small little stone slabs, while in 2D, there are trees that are fully grown in the future, but are just sprouts in the past. And so we have to switch between the two a whole bunch of times to actually traverse through this full dungeon. But first, small little required detour. Because this little room has a very important item in it. It has the bow. So now that we have the bow, we can go ahead and do this full dungeon. And also, now that we have the bow, we can absolutely demolish the intended way of doing things with these time crystals.
I don't know why, but sometimes I have some weird things here. I can't do the intended way with the speedrun, but okay.
It's interesting. I've never seen that, yeah.
Yeah.
But regardless, if you hit these time crystals and do some not so intended movement, we can just skip a lot of usages of them, because it's like you're supposed to burn down that tree in the past, but by using a bomb, we can just pass it in 2D, and then by the time the bomb goes off, we're already where we need to be 3D, and so we're, just keep moving. Yeah, it's really weird how that's working for you. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I don't know. I have this sometime, but I don't know what makes this. But
because the way it's supposed to work is it's not supposed to start the transition cutscene until you stop walking.
Yeah.
And yeah, for some reason, it's just starting it immediately. Oh, not a big deal. And we got to do a small little puzzle in this corner with the bow and firing it in certain spots and such. Very interesting thing is that if you time things out in a certain way, it is actually possible that you can cause the game to crash here. It has happened to me before.
Box,
But yeah, if you try to burn down one of the trees and then go back to the future in like a specific timing, the game doesn't like that. Yeah, also those two braziers were supposed to light on fire. And to make the statue disappear, we could just shoot around the statue to light the second one, so we could skip half of the entire dungeon. And also, these are the only skeletons we actually do have to fight, but thankfully now that we have the bow just kind of one-shots them, and so we don't actually have to worry about anything with them.
Oh, nice.
Also, that was phenomenal RNG. So yeah, in order to kill those wizards quickly, if you pause the game, they stop teleporting, and so we put a bomb down next to them, because the bomb will one-shot them. It's because they can't teleport, they're stuck next to the bomb, and since they were both piled on top of each other, you're able to take both of them out in one bomb. If the RNG doesn't cooperate, that does not go that cleanly.
Okay, nice.
Alright, and you have full health, which is also really good, because you want to be coming out of this dungeon with as much health as possible for the next section.
We will switch to Diablo in a few seconds.
Because if you thought Zelda and Final Fantasy was enough, yeah, we got Diablo 2.
Yeah.
Not Diablo number 2, Diablo as well. Well, I guess Diablo 2 is the same gameplay style as Diablo 1, so it all comes across the same. But first, we gotta get the text box again. This is the most powerful NPC in the entire game. You thought the final boss was powerful? No. That NPC is way stronger. But we use it to chain the dialogue box with the nurse, because now the nurse, if you talk to her, she gives you a full heal. And so by storing that, we are actually able to take the full heal into the dungeon with us and get it when we need some health. Because we still only have the 3 hearts right here, which means we can only tank 12 hits total. And while we will be getting an upgraded health bar in this dungeon, until we get that health bar, when we get it, it gives it health proportional to how much health you currently have. So we want to use the full heal before or like right after picking it up, so that now we have the full health for the Diablo health bar, and the Diablo health bar lets you take so many more hits.
Yeah.
Like if you get to this part of the run with full health, you basically don't need to worry about taking damage because you will survive for the entire time. If you were to have come into this dungeon without full health, there's a good chance you would have gotten to that chest without full health as well, because you would have had to burn the heal sooner, and not having full health in this section can be a little scary depending on how low it is. Like I said, no need to worry about that. And also we are skipping a bunch of chests in this area because they are completely optional. Also, interesting thing, the leeches there are actually showing up, because when you, for me on Xbox, when you skip the second lighting chest, they just don't get models and they're just shadows.
Oh, okay.
Which is funny.
Interesting.
Well, the leeches may not show up for you, but chat is showing up for us right now. We did indeed reach that $1,300 mark, so thank you so much to everyone who has participated over the course of Speedromizer to make that happen. We did indeed have a $27.46 donation from Core, who doesn't leave a comment but does say no to disco, which I'm a bit disappointed in, but that's fine. Thank you so much for the donation.
Alright. And now we're at the boss of the Diablo section. Yeah, it doesn't have good pathfinding, so you can just stay on the other side of one of these tombstones and he doesn't know how to go around it. You could just sit there and wail on him.
Yeah,
and also,
extra
thing, the reason we picked Karis for this section is her 3-hit combo. The third hit does damage twice for some reason, and so she just does way more damage than Clink does here, as a result. And so those two things combined make it so that boss is a joke.
And we'll have the second part of the amulets.
Yes, and now that we have both parts of the amulet, we can go track down the big bad and try to defeat him. And you know, our edgy little bad guy has yet another very original name. I don't know how they came up with it. But first we again have to talk to our good friend, the card game guy, to get the text box one last time. I like to call him Chad because he gives you a hanging text box, so it's hanging Chad.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Well, that's unfortunate.
Okay.
Well, yeah. At this point, it's just
okay. We lose a bit of time after, but okay.
Yeah. What was supposed to happen is you're supposed to keep the pause menu open, but not a big deal. It's just like a 20-second time loss later.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the big bad. This is Zephyros. Again, don't know where they come up with these names. They're just
I don't know.
very original. But yeah, the way this fight works is the boss has 200 health, or well, technically he has 1,000, but for all intents and purposes, he has 200 health. And so the goal is to just do that 200 health as damage as fast as possible, which means you're just sitting there hoping for good damage rolls. But as a result of needing to do that much damage, you also need to make sure you keep your health up, because Zephyros is attacking the whole time. So basically, because Karis has an attack spell now, she actually does more damage than Clink does. So anytime one of the characters gets below 30 health, you want to use a potion on them with Clink, which wastes his turn, but he's doing less damage anyway, and getting them back up to the point where they're not one hit from death, because Zephyros tends to do anywhere from 20 to 30 damage per hit, and there's no reason to play it risky and think, oh, I have enough health, I'll survive a hit, and then you get one shot. Or actually, that's technically not true. There is one reason, and that one reason is you've already done enough damage, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far, these damage rolls have been not very nice. Pretty low so far.
I had better, but it should be soon dead, I think. Oh, 22. Okay, nice.
Okay, there you go. So now that he's taken enough damage, he's going to use his legally distinct ultimate attack.
What is it?
I can't tell.
We'll see.
Just too legally distinct for me.
Kamehameha. Kamehameha.
Yeah. Fun fact, you can survive that, and if you were to survive it, it's actually really bad.
Yeah. You lose a lot of time.
This time. Yeah, now that he used his ultimate attack, he's gonna take out Karis.
Oh, no.
She's doing too much damage. So yeah, unfortunately, this is the end for our party member.
Yeah, goodbye.
Clink is heartbroken, but thankfully it allows Clink to awaken the hidden powers that he had within him the entire time, which allows us to use a spell to summon Abamoot, the dragon. Babamoot, unfortunately, it's a super long animation, but it does instantly end any fight that he's in, and so that is the intended way of finishing this fight. Which is why I mentioned he technically has 1,000 health, but, like, no, he doesn't. Alright, and that is the penultimate fight against Zephyros, because he has fled one last time, so we gotta get back to town, figure out how to get to him, also tell everybody what happened. Which, unfortunately, because we didn't, Jerem accidentally closed out the pause menu, we will not be able to break out of this cutscene.
Yeah.
Which makes it very funny, because it's like, you tell everybody, it's like, everyone, it's Zephyros, he killed Karis, I'm so sorry, and you just walk out the door while everyone's grieving.
We just leave it, yeah.
But no, unfortunately we have to actually take part in the eulogy.
Okay.
But now we have an airship, so we can go chase down Zephyros pretty easily with that.
Yep.
Right, but now it is time for the final boss fight against Zephyros. He's within the mana tree here. We have to defeat him one last time. In a bit of a different boss fight this time.
Yep.
Zephyros also looks a little different from before. A little bigger this time. Yeah, the way this fight works is there's 3 phases. Phase 1, he has his 2 hands with those eyes on them. He's going to slam them down. Each of those hands has 10 health. And so basically we just have to hit each of the hands 10 times to defeat them for 20 hits total. And if you get the correct hit spacing and the timing and everything, you're able to take down each hand in 4 attack cycles. And so ideally, that is what happens. If things go a little poorly, then it might take 5 cycles for a hand, but either way, phase 1's not too bad. Phase 2 is when things start getting a little more annoying, because that's when the RNG starts.
Yep.
Phase 2 here, he's gonna spit out his breath. At a certain point, he's gonna stop, at which point you need to hit his armor, and the orb in his back is gonna fly out. Where the orb pops out is completely random, and so if you decide to go to the right there, and it pops out on the left, you just gotta walk around the whole circle to get to it. It's really unfortunate. The orb only has 4 hits, though, and so the fact that you got 3 that first time around is really good, because sometimes the orb is very mean to you and you only get 1 hit.
Okay, last phase.
Alright, last phase. This is the big RNG phase because it's the tennis phase.
It will be soon time for the tech.
Time will be coming up after the last hit. Like after he clears the last text box after the last hit, I should specify. Yeah, the boss will spit out either blue orbs or pink orbs. The blue ones are the ones you can hit back. The pink ones are the ones that you can't hit back. And he has 4 health, so we just need to wait for him to spit out 4 blue orbs. There's nothing else he can do to make this go faster. So that's 2. So 2 more orbs, and we've defeated Zephyros.
Not yet. Okay.
That's 3. 1 more, come on. There we go.
And time.
GG's.
Thanks.
That was a pretty solid run despite the soft lock.
Yeah. It would be better without the soft lock, but yeah, I don't know. I probably miss it, but yeah.
According to the timer on stream, you have got a 33-37, which is pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah, with the soft lock is pretty good, yeah.
Also, I don't think I mentioned it all, but it's kind of full circle for me to be back here commentating somebody else running Evoland, considering this was the first game I ever had to learn for Speedromizer.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
And I think you will be doing Evoland run for the HJDQ. in
Yes,
a few
exactly.
weeks.
So that's the other end of the full circle thing. It's I learned this game for Speedromizer 2 years ago, and then I'm running it on stage at SGDQ in 2 weeks.
Good luck. Yeah.
But for
Yes,
today, today's not my day. Today's your day.
Yeah, but thanks for the commentary, and thanks thanks for everyone for the event.
Thanks for having me. It's always fun to commentate the world record holder doing a run in the game.
Thanks.
But yeah. Do you have anything you want to shout out for where people want to find you, or?
No, but you not necessarily. You can find me. My name is on the screen, I think. So no, so just thank you everyone, and yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to Jerem and Illegally Sam for that excellent showcase of Evoland, a very interesting little game that I might have to check out myself, actually. That did look quite cool. I did quite like the little transition from 2D to 3D. Always a good little thing. We're going to run some very quick ads, and then we'll be back, where unfortunately it will be time for me to wrap up my hosting time on the desk and hand off, but we'll go to some ads first, and we'll be right back. Well, friends all around the world, Twitch chatters on the stream. I am very sad to announce that unfortunately this is the end of my hosting block for Speedromizer, and indeed the end of my entire Speedromizer 7 journey. It has been an absolute pleasure to be here to participate in not only the hosting but some of the behind the scenes action as well. What a fantastic event this has been. I'm so happy that everything has gone the way it has and that the runs have been excellent, as they always are. I just hope that the rest of the runs will continue to do so, as I know they will. I am leaving you in the very capable hands of the wonderful, the fantastic Sol. So Sol, over to you.
Hello, happy time zone. Welcome, Speedromizer community. It is me again. It's Sol, or Beam Queen Sol. So I will be your host for the next couple of runs, and we've certainly got a couple of interesting runs. I can use words. But yeah, first up we have Peaches with multiple red ball games. I know very little about these other than it's a red ball, and my mind immediately goes to Happy Fun Ball. Quick suggestion: do not taunt it. It's probably for the best. And then after that we have Godzilla Monster of Monsters. And then of course we have other runs you need to see, like we have Kirby's Dream Land 2, where we currently have an incentive for our runner Tempest to give puns. Right now we have enough for 7 of the puns. There's a max of 15. So if you want to make sure that there are more puns, get your donations in. Or failing that, maybe you have maybe you want to tell us what you want to say about Distro. Right now, we have an ongoing poll for say yes or no to Distro, and currently, yes is in the lead. And I'm sure there are certain people that aren't happy about that. So you can either make that person happier by saying no, or you can make them squirm just a little bit more and just keep saying yes. Because saying yes to Distro still means that you're a benefiting community. Anyways, we'll be ready momentarily with the next run, so sit tight for now, and once we are good to go, we will have that running for you.